Of course, if it's President Trump, there's a lot of lawsuits going on. There's a lot of court cases happening. We have to keep them all straight in our heads, and sometimes it's hard because there's so many happening. So much so, by the way, that I think they become less and less impactful, less and less meaningful. Because if you hear the same story every day, eventually, though they are still legally very significant, I want to make sure people understand that. Like, they are alleging things that could get you thrown in jail. But in terms of the public perception, I think they become less and less powerful. Now, yesterday we reported the situation where Jim Jordan said, hey, it appears that the documents that you claim to be mishandled, the classified documents being kept in Mar-a-Lago, were in fact mishandled by the people collecting them. Who knew if anything was going to come from that? I got some responses to that broadcast yesterday and said, this is Jim Jordan just puffing his chest. Nothing is going to happen. You need to tell him to take action. And of course, because I said, there's good people. There are people like Jim Jordan who are out there. But no, action actually did happen very rapidly. And it appears to be that's at least part of the reason why that situation, the Mar-a-Lago document situation, may be pushed on well beyond potentially the 2024 election.
Absolutely. It's likely to be pushed into 2025 at the earliest, in part because there are a ton of pretrial motions and pretrial issues that must be decided. Jack Smith essentially charged President Trump with doing what? Mishandling classified documents. And then the Department of Justice, under the control of Jack Smith, then tampered with or mishandled those documents himself.
Yep.
And so you cannot make it up. I mean, it is a brilliant illustration, I believe, of Jack Smith's willingness to overcharge other individuals for conduct that his office is arguably guilty of. In addition to which, it's possible that Jack Smith did something else, that he tampered with a witness by essentially promising to help the witness's lawyer attain a federal judgeship. I think that has yet to be decided in terms of the implications.
In the news on this one, this kind of bothers me a little bit. It's sure the headlines will show up, like if you're looking at top news sources, but that is not the number one, it's not even a top 10 story probably happening across the country right now. The Fonnie Willis one, yeah, sure, that's making some attention, but again, because it's scandalous, because I think people, I'm sure they see ratings pop for that. You have the other situation, obviously the protests and all that happening, but this one, I didn't see many other people talking about, and it's a pretty devastating blow, I think, to that case. And to me, it's maybe the one time where they go, okay, you know what? We saw what happened with President Biden, that he also had. Look, let's say you think all of it's true, that President Trump had documents he shouldn't have had. Well, then we know for sure President Biden also had documents he shouldn't have had. What's clear is, however these documents are being transported, not necessarily the easiest, the best way, and probably not the most 2024 way in American society right now. Probably need to figure out a little safer way to do this, but also that you can't be on one side of the political spectrum. It's not that kind of issue. This is happening across the board. And maybe when you see this kind of impropriety happening, that you can just say, okay, this case, we're going to pump it so far into the future, into 2025, either President Trump will be the president, therefore this case is pretty much null and void, or he loses and we'll deal with it then. Getting it beyond the election, I think, is good. I think that's helpful. I did want to encourage you, because during this time, we launch a lot of petitions. We launch a lot of ways for you to get involved. Right now, the radical left, like I said, has been weaponizing the judicial system. We've seen it now time and time again. We have defeated them multiple times at their attempt to either, whether it was to get Trump knocked off the ballot. We saw that happen in the Supreme Court. And just this morning, obviously, we saw what happened in the state of Georgia. Then we see what happens when Jim Jordan challenges the situation and says, those documents were also mishandled. We have proof. Guess what happens? Or you're trying to bribe someone to a judgeship. Those actions, we are also getting ourselves involved in many different ways, but there's a way that you can do it right now, which is just to sign our petition, which, by the way, is about to cross 100,000. This is not a brand new petition, but it's a brand new petition for this broadcast. It's been one at the ACLJ that we've had for a little while. You can get involved in it right now. I'm going to look at the current number that we're at. We are over 92,000, almost 93,000 signers to that petition. Do it right now. Scan the code on your screen or go to aclj.org/sign